Hello, it's Sam at Rare B&B again, and today I was wrangling up some armadillos for my armadillo farm, and I noticed that this jungle, or rather bamboo forest, kind of abuts right up against this section of Badlands. And I thought that was kind of cool, but it wasn't the only thing that was cool. I have never really seen this sort of thing before. Where the Badlands actually butt up against a jungle, or rather a bamboo forest. So I did want to take a peek and check it out, see what it would look like back here, if there was anything interesting that I wasn't expecting. But there was actually something interesting that I wasn't expecting. It just wasn't this far back. So I'm going to speed forward a little bit back toward my camp. And who hasn't seen some light poking out from a hole in the Badlands, right? You know what I'm talking about, because normally it has some cool stuff in it. Maybe a mine cart and some chests, maybe some, I don't know, diamonds or gold or whatever, right? So I figured that's probably what I was going to find here, but I actually was wrong. What I found was a nice little lush cave, as you can see here. Now this little lush cave interests me because I've never seen one in the Badlands before. That doesn't mean that they don't exist elsewhere, but I do suspect it's because it's really close to a jungle. And of course it's dark and light and all that stuff like it is, and it has water, which becomes more important as the story goes on, but I'm not going to watch you, or make you watch me traipse through this place. I'm actually just going to go up and out. It does take me a couple of seconds to get up here. And there's really nothing but darkness until I get out, so I do speed it up a little bit, because who wants to watch somebody carefully navigate a cave into a dark shrubby area? But this dark shrubby area is kind of where things get interesting, because as I continue, well, I stopped to take a picture of this tree, because it's azalea tree or whatever they call it, I can't remember. I like to take pictures of things that I want to come back to, and I would like to come back to this lush cave and explore it more, although I will be in it a little bit more after this, because as I continued to try and look for some more armadillos, they tend to come in threes, little families. As I continued to look for my camp, as I was talking about where my armadillos that I am taking from my farm are, and my donkey is patiently waiting for me, I came across a big hole. Everybody comes across a big hole. I'm just kidding. I didn't really come across. This is not the interesting thing. Okay, so I'm going to speed up, fast forward through here, and you're going to see me look around, and there's an armadillo. If you did not see the armadillo, I will show you another armadillo. He is right there. Yeah, that's not the interesting thing either. So I did see this armadillo, and I noticed my camp wasn't here, so I turned back because I wanted to, of course, find my camp. I did not explore the hole. I did avoid it, and as I came over here, I noticed, you'll see in just a moment here, oh, what is that? Oh, look at here. This is the first time, I'm so excited. It's the first time that I've seen one of these good boys. And of course I have no bones. Oh, I'm sorry, guy. I will be back with bones, I swear. Oh yes, but Sam, where exactly is it that you're going to get bones, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. I will get bones back in the water. Remember, there was water down there. So I gotta find a hole, any hole. This will do. I dropped my last torch thinking I have more torches, but you know, you check the inventory and nothing's there. I can't even make torches, so I just go toward the light. That's what they always say, like, go toward the light. So I'm going toward the light because I need to find water down here. But the tricky thing is finding not just water, but useful water, right? And you know what useful water is when you're looking for bones, is water with fish in it. And it's not always easy to find water with fish in it, but this hole took me directly to this. And where there are fish, there are bones. And it is my job to take those bones. So I'm going to jump in here, right? Because that's what you do when you want a dog, is you go in water and risk your life to get the bones out of the fish. And I smack a few fish around, and I do manage to get a couple of bones immediately, mainly from this guy. Wow, there we get a bone from him. But it does take me a little while, and I'm starting to get frustrated because I'm like under here losing life, and I'm having to keep going down and up, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And So I come up over this water and I'm looking around, and after a few minutes that I cut out, I noticed that there was this little waterfall type thing where the fish would get congregated if I chased them over here. So I chased some fish over here and I just started smacking at them because they were all stuck. And they were like, okay, we're going to go back to the other end and you're going to have to chase us again. So I thought, how could I get them to actually come to me? Well, there's a fish right there, so if they can actually get over the little wall, then maybe I can just smack them down on the ground. So I pull out my pickaxe because that's what you do when you want to break a wall, right? And I immediately smack the wrong brick and realize that I have to smack not just 2 bricks, but 4. And so I do that. And after I do this, I'm so hyped. I'm like, okay, sword on. I'm going to go chase these fish because none of them are obviously going to come to me. I'm going to go chase these fish up to the waterfall. The plan is that when they get there, they're going to fall out and I'm just going to go out and smack them left and right, and then I won't have to die in the water. And that's the plan. But as you probably know and have experienced in Minecraft, that things do not always go as you plan them to. Which was, of course, the case here. So the fish did not want to do what I wanted them to do. And that was frustrating. So I just went and decided I would just keep smacking at them. And maybe some of them would go over the wall, and maybe some of them would have bones in them here. I don't know. And I'm kind of used to playing underwater, if I'm telling the truth, because I tend to fish with bow and arrow when I'm looking for bones. And I like to use a lot of bone meal, so that's something that I'm kind of used to doing. So I know where my life is, where my hearts are at all times. And I don't usually die in the water. Not saying that I never do. But this was a disappointment, because look at all these fish, right? I'm smacking them and I'm smacking them. And they did actually come over the wall. But none of them had bones. I mean, it was like smacking and smacking, but there were no bones on these fish. Unless I was like in there dying with them, they were not going to give me anything. So I decided to just go out. I already had, some bones, and I saw this fish, and I was like, 7 bones is probably as good as it's going to get. But I'm going to smack him just to see. Can I get another one? Nope. And so I decided to just crawl out. There was a big hole here, and I didn't want to die in it, so, yeah. I just wanted to parkour. Yeah, because I'm really great at that. Not really at all. And so I'm just going to climb out. I'm not going to make you watch me climb out, because nobody likes to watch someone else climb out of a cave. And so here we are. I'm coming up here. I'm going to go and look for this dog, but I'm not expecting to find him. I'm going to carry my bones with me, just maybe that'll attract him as I'm walking along. But I have to find my camp because my armadillos and my donkey are down there, and that's where I need to be to get them back to my cove. But I was really not expecting to find this friendly doggo again, and my camp wasn't there, and I was kind of frustrated because I haven't been able to find it. And I turn around, and what do I see? Oh, look at here. Not 1, but 2. 2 doggos. Hello. So I feed this one, and wouldn't you know it, 1 bone is all it took. But then there was this little lady here, and I don't think she was very interested. I think maybe because we're so close to the jungle, she has some ocelot tendencies. Anyway, I just kept trying. And finally, on the last one, she was like, fine, whatever. He's with you. I'll go too. And again, I'm looking for my camp, which I've said several times. And I'm like, okay, I got to manage to get back to my camp. Not only do I have to find it, but I can't fall in any of these gigantic holes because I have 2 dogs now. And they don't have any armadillo armor yet because I have not rubbed any armadillos yet. And I have never made armadillo armor. I have no idea. I've got some scutes just because they hate being in water, apparently, and they drop scutes all over the place when I have them in my boat. They just kind of drop them randomly. Anyway, so I'm really trying to avoid holes, but they seem to be everywhere, and I'm not finding my campsite. But I do eventually. I mean, like, there's no tension here. I don't die or anything like that. I'm just going to spoiler alert for you. Well, I didn't alert you. I just spoiled it. But that's okay. And I saw some light, and eventually I did indeed. That's my campsite. So I'm like, hey guys, let's go just run down this hill all willy-nilly and fall into the big ditch, which is not what happened. I just really carefully went down, and you can't tell that I sped this footage up a little bit because I was going so slow because I was like, I don't want to hurt my doggos. And that's what I think that's kind of the way all of us are when we get our new dogs and our old dogs and we want to like just keep them safe. I don't know why we're so attached to our Minecraft dogs. Or, well, I don't know why I am. I do have 2 grand dogs in real life. I do not own any dogs myself. I have 2 grand dogs who are both beautiful little good boys. But Minecraft dogs are mine. And I, almost died here, just so you know. Yeah. I slowed that way down so you can see. But I went way too fast over that, and so I was kind of worried when I got here, thinking I probably lost one of my dogs, or maybe both. I turned around and I heard some water splashing, so I was like, oh, well, they're okay. Here they are. Look at them. Well, I did the things that you do when you get new dogs. I decided I was going to get some meat out of my donkey's satchel, or chest, or whatever you want to call it, and I was going to take pictures of them. So, when you take pictures of your dogs, you want hearts all over the place, and you want them in the right spots. And that definitely was not the right position. So I grabbed my stake, and I went over to my presumably girl dog, and no, I'm not going to use a pickaxe. I just wanted her to come follow me a little bit so I could get her in the right spot. And I thought, foolishly, that this was a great spot. Because, look at them. They're, one's close to the other. They look really cute there. But then I noticed, look at these guys. Aren't they gorgeous? But they're still wearing collars, and I don't have anything in my inventory to dye them a natural color. And I want them to have like a natural color so they kind of look like naked. So I looked in my donkey's chest, and there was nothing there either. And I thought, I'm close to it. I'm in a jungle. Like, I'm not in it, but it's right there. So probably their fur pattern looks like it would be okay with brown. So I just, jumped in the water, and I swam on over, and I pulled down some cocoa beans because they make brown dye, and that's what I did. I made some brown dye, and I swam myself back, and sure enough, as you'll see here in just a few seconds, I approach, and there they are, and I pull out my brown dye from my inventory, and they just look at this. Look how gorgeous they are with brown collars. Look at that. It looks so natural on their little bodies. They don't even look like they have collars on anymore. How cute is that? Well, so I take out my raw beef because, of course, like I said, I wanted a good picture. And they were all full of hearts and gorgeous, and everything was perfect. So I shut my HUD off, and then they weren't full of hearts anymore. And I am really not good at feeding dogs without the HUD on. And I did manage to cut out the part where I went and got more meat from my donkey's satchel. And I pushed them together, and I'm getting ready to feed them. And, oh, look, aren't they just so sweet? It's the perfect position, and I can't seem to feed them, and then this happens. Oh, yeah, so I cut it out. It was too graphic. And so I did manage to get my picture with them, as you can tell. Hearts everywhere. Gorgeous picture. And I did manage to not, they did manage to not get attacked by the armadillo again. And then I decided that it was time to rustle everybody up and be on my way. So if you liked this video, you can like it, and if you want more content, you can subscribe, and maybe get notifications for more, if you would like to see more. Thanks for watching.